I am definitely going to need a drink to get through this album. All right, before you click off, let me explain why I'm drinking. The album we're listening to today is from Times of Grace. If you're not aware, it's actually a side project from Adam D and Jesse Leach. That's right, I'm not even going to try to pronounce Adam's last name. But they're both of the band Killswitch Engage. I didn't even know that this project existed until I was checking out Drinks with Johnny. If you don't know about Drinks with Johnny, you got to check it out. It's a show hosted by Johnny Christ of Avenged Sevenfold. And he has some amazing guests on there. This time, he actually had Jesse Leach on of Killswitch, but he was really there to promote the latest album from Times of Grace called Songs of Loss and Separation. Now, I had no clue that this project existed, so I was like, let me go just check out a song. I was pretty blown away. It was really damn good. So we're going to check it out together, the whole album. And because I was turned on to this from Drinks with Johnny, I'm going to have a drink with Johnny. Even though Johnny's probably never going to see this. But Johnny Christ, if you check this out, here's to you, bud. All right, the first track is called The Burden of Belief. And this is a great way to introduce the fact that these are not Killswitch songs. These are very different. This is a little bit on the milder side, a little bit softer, but really good. You can tell up front just how good Jesse's vocals are. I mean, Jesse and Adam's. Adam's doing the harmonizing, the backgrounds. Musicianship, of course, is amazing. It's Adam's doing most of it, but they do have Dan Gluzak on drums. The bridge is fire, and them outro vocals. Outro vocals are on point, and I even detected some harmonized screams in the outro. But yeah, let's get into the next one, which is Menju, and this is actually the track that I did listen to after watching Drinks with Johnny. So, you know, it had a pretty big impact on me if I went from having no clue what even this band was to going, I need to do an album review. This track is so good. The vocals are amazing. The chorus is so catchy. There's some really interesting vocal effects going on during the bridge that on my first listen I didn't quite catch, but this time I did because I listen under cans when I do these reviews. The bass work in the song is just fantastic. It really starts kicking in during the second verse. I gotta say, I love the balls this song gets right at the end. It's only like 15 seconds right at the end where all of the emotion throughout the entire song just really kind of builds up. So good. Let's see how the next song, Rescue, pans out. Now this song starts out definitely on the heavier side, and I think this is a great change up from the last two songs, which had its heavy elements, but was definitely more on the softer side. I love how they play with feel changes through the use of double time and halftime throughout the song. I don't know if anyone else caught it, but the bridge is in 7. The only reason that I actually figured out it was in 7 is because I was focused on the feel changes, so I was actually snapping along just to make sure that there wasn't any true tempo changes, which there weren't. It was all feel changes. But when it got to the bridge, all of a sudden I realized that it was in an odd time signature. And yeah, it was in 7. I really dug the outro. Even though it was on the longer side, I'm usually not a huge fan of really long, drawn-out outros. But having it kind of settled down through this keyboard and synth outro that was a little bit drawn out, thought it was a great way to simmer down after kind of an up and down song. Now next up is From Heavenless, and this song is far from my favorite. It's not a bad song, but there's definitely just some parts that I'm not in love with. It is well executed, right? Like, would expect nothing less from these guys, but yeah, just not doing it for me. The choruses are very strong, full of emotion. The bridge does hit, but like the intro, the verses, not really doing it for me. And we got 10 songs. We're 4 in. So far, it's only one that not a huge fan with. So we're gonna move right into Bleed Me, which in the beginning of the song kind of sounded like Nirvana's Something in the Way, and looking at the YouTube comments, I'm not the only one that thought that. Speaking of something in the way, there's something in the way of me continuing this video. An empty glass. Please hold. Much better. If you are curious what I'm drinking, I do live in Florida, so I decided to go with a Florida brew. And I love Hefeweizen, so I went with Funky Buddha's Floridian. It's a very tasty Hefeweizen. By the way, I am not in any way sponsored by Funky Buddha. I just enjoy the beer. If there are any other Hefeweizens you think I should check out, or any other beers in general, please leave them in the comments. And before anyone starts putting IPAs down there, I don't drink terrible beer. Thank you. By the way, while you're down there leaving comments, now's a great time to like and subscribe. But back to Something in the Way. I mean, believe me. I joke about it sounding like Something in the Way. Well, it's not a joke. It does. But it's still a really, really good song. I'm wondering if this is more of a concept album. Maybe I'll learn a little bit more by listening to the next song, Medusa. What a great song. Fantastic intro. It starts out really chill and then kicks you right in the face. There's just really cool stuff throughout this song. There's some really cool panning work in the second verse. The drum work in the bridge is absolute fire. The screams at the end are just so good. Yeah, fire song. Absolute fire. And I'm hoping the next song, which is Currents, makes me feel the same way. And I'm glad to say that it did not disappoint. I absolutely love the intro to this song, especially the harmonies and the vocals. The harmonies are just on point. So the song is just fantastic front to back. But I was really enamored by the time signatures in here. And I apologize, I'm going to nerd out for a minute. The verses, they're in either 3 or 6. So they're either 3/4 or 6/8. I am going to say they're in 3/4 for a number of reasons. One, what it does in the chorus. 2, the way the accents are. 3/4 and 6/8 have a very different feel. I think this is closer to 3/4. So I think the verses are in 3/4. The chorus is a mix. The way that I count it is 3/3/4, which is super weird, especially for a chorus. But I love it. It's fantastic. And then once it gets to the bridge and the outro, it goes into 4, and it just stays on 4 through the end. And I'm a little disappointed there's only 3 songs left. But you know what? That's what happens, is sometimes you find really good albums and they eventually have to end. So let's just go ahead and dive right into the next song, which is To Carry the Weight. And this is an absolute phenomenal song. It truly is. I want to read a comment I found on this on YouTube while I was listening to the song. It's from Dave Hicks. Hi, Dave. Says, this song is just beautiful. Jesse has the voice of an angel and the scream of a demon. It's such a fantastic way to sum up Jesse Leach's voice. And honestly, this is a song that I don't want to spend too much time on because it's just really, really good. It's just, you need to listen to it. Makes me excited for these last 2. And the first of the final 2 is Cold, which is another song that just blows me right away with the vocals. I mean, front to back, the vocals are just highlighted. It highlights both Adam and Jesse's vocals. Their harmonies are just fantastic. Can't say that enough. This is definitely a softer song, but it gets you right in the feels. And now I'm sad I'm at the last song. It's a long one, though. It's 6.5 minutes. But I have a feeling it's going to have a long outro. That's been a little bit of a trend on this album. But that's okay, because this song may leave me with a feeling of foreverness. That is cheesy. But whatever. The name of the song is Forever. And it is a great ending song for the album. Once again, the vocals, really, really good. But I will say that I agree with some of the comments I'm seeing on the video that Adam's vocals definitely sounds a lot like Corey Taylor. I actually had to go look it up. I was like, is Corey Taylor on this album? It's not Corey, it's Adam. Jesse's screams in the bridge are probably the harshest on the album, but it still is not overly heavy. Really great way to end the album. So if you can't tell, I am all in on this album. Out of 10 songs, I think there was only one that I really wasn't into. Drop some comments. Let me know what you think of the album. Let me know what you think of my review. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Ring the bell. All the YouTube stuff. You keep making beautiful music, and I will see you in the next one.